Okay, so for Unit 3, and then this is Objective 6 still, and let's focus that so we can see it. It's tired, and yes, I am. So,
Listen, they can hear me?
no. They can only hear my voice. I have it programmed just to record my particular pitch and tone. So this is long division and synthetic division. So I'm going to abbreviate that. So synthetic division. Okay, so that's the new piece that we're learning is the long division and synthetic division, but we're learning it in terms of how does that help us graph. Okay, so we have to learn this tool in order to be able to graph. So we're just going to do a quick little reminder on just long division. You don't have to write this part down, but this is just to like jog our memories on how do we do long division. So that was like a long time ago, I don't know, what, 3rd grade? Maybe, something like that. Okay, so you don't have to write this down. Okay, so Jaden, how do I do long division?
Live?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you trying to, let me tell you the answer?
No, how to do it.
Oh,
I know, 3rd grade, that's a long time ago. Who was your teacher in 3rd grade?
Mr. Fabiola.
Oh, he's a soccer guy, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. He's like one of my brother's friends.
Yeah. Antonio?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I would just divide it like 3 goes into 3 once.
That's exactly how you do it. 3 goes into 3 once, and then what?
3 goes into 6 twice.
Wait.
Oh, it's
Okay.
And then 3 goes into 6 twice. And 6. Then you bring the 7 down. And then it goes into 7 2 times. And that would be 6. And then it's 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know the math.
R1.
1 over 3?
Or 1/3.
Yeah.
Did you guys do R3 or R1?
Yeah.
Or, well, we don't want to do decimals. Okay.
Oh, I definitely did 0.0, but it's alright, I'll stay strong.
Okay.
So I'll do that.
Yeah, or you would do like 0.0 and get all the decimals. Okay, so we're just going to do either like remainder of 1 or 1 over 3. Okay. All right, so let's do a little walkthrough just to kind of remember. So we're trying to figure out what do we multiply 3 by to get 3, or 3 divided by 3, however we want to talk about that. That gives us a 1, and then we do 1 times 3, which gives us 3, and then we subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0, so that cancels. And that should always cancel, right? And then carry down the 6. What do I multiply 3 by to get 6? That's 2, and then 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract, that gives me 0, or cancels. Carry down the 7. 3 goes into 7 twice. So 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract, I have a remainder of 1. Okay. So this part that we're doing is what we're going to be doing as well. The same exact steps, except we're going to do it with polynomials, so it's a little bit trickier. Okay. But that's like our basic idea. So one thing, though, that we do need to make sure, okay, that we know, and so this is where we're going to start writing, okay, is that if the remainder, spell that correctly. If the remainder, so that's like our R1 thing, is 0, then the divisor, meaning what we divided by, is a factor. Okay. So that's the part that when we do this, they're going to ask us that question. Like once you're done dividing, they're going to ask you, so is your remainder or is your divisor a factor? And if you got a remainder of 0, then you would say yes. If you got a remainder of, say, 1, then you would say no. So if the remainder is 0, so this is something that we need to make sure that we remember because they're going to ask us that question. So if the remainder is 0, then our divisor is a factor. Okay. So in this case, in our problem, we got a remainder of 1. So is 3 a factor? No. This would have had to have been a 0. Okay. All right, so we're going to do an example with the steps next to it just to kind of go through the process. So this is example 1. Okay, so divide using long division. So we have x to the third minus 3x squared plus 8x and then minus 6, and we want to divide that by x minus 1. So our first step is just to set it up just like we would for your normal long division. So that's our step 1. So our setup is going to be the x minus 1 goes on the outside, and then all divided by, and then I'm just going to copy what I have above that. So although it doesn't look like it, our steps are going to be exactly the same as we did for our long division. Okay. And so now what we need to do is we need to figure out what number goes up here, okay? And what number goes up here is going to be what do I multiply x by to get x to the third, okay? Just like we did, what do we multiply, our 3 by to get 3, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So we're looking for our terms above. Okay, so that means we're finding these things up here. So we're finding our terms above. And then we're just going to divide our front terms. So we're taking our x cubed and our x. Okay, so that's for our step 2 there. Okay. So we're taking our x cubed and our x, and we're going to divide them, and that's what's going to give us the number above, because we're looking for the terms that go above. Okay. So what are those numbers there? Okay. So I usually just do it over here like as scratch work. So I just say, okay, I have my x to the third, and I'm going to divide by x. Okay. And so this is like our little scratch work. And so, Yusuf, what's x cubed divided by x?
X squared.
Okay, good. So that's my term above, so I'm going to put that there. Okay. And then our next step is we're going to do, we're going to multiply so then we're going to do x squared to both of those. Okay. And so that's my step 3. Okay, so Cameron, you're going to help us out here. So what's x squared times x? Okay, so far so good. Okay. And then I'm putting it underneath, right? Putting it underneath because that's what we would normally do for long division. And now I'm going to do x squared times negative 1. And then Cameron, what's that equal? Negative 1x squared.
Can't you just pull minus x squared?
And that's the same thing, right? Okay. All right, so Riley, where did I get the x squared from? So I divided these two. X cubed divided by x gave me x squared. Okay. And then Johnny, where did I get x cubed minus 1x squared from? Okay, good. Okay. And so now I'm going to subtract. Okay, so when I subtract, I need to make sure I'm subtracting both of these. Okay, so I'm going to subtract negative x cubed, and then what happens when I'm going to subtract a negative 1x squared? It's going to turn positive because subtracting a negative makes that a positive. Okay, so then that's my step 4. Is I need to make sure I subtract, but I subtract everything. Okay, all right, and so then Ricky, what's x cubed minus x cubed? Nothing, right? Just 0. Okay, good. So that's going to cancel. And now I have negative 3x squared, and now this turned into an adding, right? Double negative. So negative 3x squared plus 1x squared is going to be minus 2x squared. Okay. And then now we're going to carry down. So meaning I'm going to bring down the 8x, and I'm going to bring down the negative 6. And that was step 5 right there. Okay, so this has got like a lot of steps, but we'll figure it out. Okay. And then now start from the beginning.
Repeat.
And repeat. So we're going to do the same things again. Okay, so we're going to find our terms above, so we're going to divide our front term. So this is our new front term here, negative 2x squared. So I'm going to take the negative 2x squared, and over here, divide it by the x. So I'm just starting over again. So, but I have a new front term, so negative 2x squared divided by x. Okay. And then, Kayla, what's that going to give me? What's negative 2x squared divided by x? Good job. Okay. And then, Giselle, what does step 3 tell us to do?
To multiply.
To multiply. So now, we're going to multiply just the negative 2x now. So I'm just going to draw arrows that are kind of radiating from it, just to remind me that I have to distribute it. So negative 2x needs to multiply both the x and the minus 1. Okay. So then, Aquia, what's negative 2x times x?
Negative 2x.
Okay, good. And then negative 2x times negative 1?
2x.
Okay, good job. And then Hayden, what does step 4 tell us to do? Subtract. And what's going to happen when I subtract this negative? I'm going to actually add it. And when I subtract this positive, I'll just throw a little minus in there. Okay, just to remind us. So all I'm doing is distributing that subtracting. Okay. And then Jeremiah, what is this going to give me?
0.
And then this one right here?
6. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so far so good. Okay. And then Johnny, what does step 5 tell us to do? Carry down.
So you drag the minus 6.
So we drag the minus 6. Okay. And then now we start over and do it again. Okay?
Wow.
It's a never-ending problem. Okay?
Until we like.
All right.
reach it.
So we got a new front term, right? So we're going to do 6x divided by the x again. Okay? Good thing you only have 30 of these to do for homework.
What?
She's joking. It's
Okay, and then 6x divided by 6.
You would have committed suicide.
Okay. Yusuf, don't joke about that kind of stuff. I have it on recording now that you said that. Okay, so okay, so now we're gonna multiply. So I did the term above, so now I'm gonna multiply. Okay, so Valerie, you're gonna help us out with that.
Okay.
So 6 times x,
6x.
and then 6 times -1.
-6.
Okay, good. Okay, and then Parker, what's step 4? And then when I subtract here, but what happens when I subtract this one?
Plus.
It's going to add. Thank you, Parker. Okay? And so now we're going to go ahead and subtract. So Parker, what's 6x minus 6x? Nothing. What's -6 plus 6? 0. Okay?
Yes.
So now here's the question I'm going to ask you. Is x minus 1 a factor of the polynomial?
Yes.
No solution. Okay, so Parker, you said yes. How come? Because the remainder was 0, it equals 0, there's nothing there.
But if there was a fraction, I mean, like.
So if there was a number like a 1, then it would
So-
be no solution.
Okay.
Okay? All right, and then that